Hello, and welcome back to another session of Creating Art Over 70 with Signed Rufus. This particular piece, I'm shifting gears here a little bit. I'm going to do a couple of charcoal pieces here on this one sheet. I'm thinking about my next pastel project and the composition I want to create. And I want it to be a pretty strong, convincing piece. And so I'm kind of gathering and going through references, both subject and background and stuff like that. And so I'm trying to put that together because I'm enjoying the process of just being able to create my own composition, which is totally away from the reference, just using bits and pieces of references, the subject reference, are taking that particular subject reference and putting it in a whole totally different environment or composition altogether. And so that was fun on the train project. I really enjoyed doing that. And so I want to go forward with that a little more in creating some of those compositions. So anyway, so to this particular piece, what you see here is a construction paper again. I'm using construction paper again to do some charcoal pieces. This is a kind of a greenish color, and the color is itself is not quite mid-tone. It's on the lower end. It's on the darker scale of the values. So it's darker than a mid-tone value. So in order to see, with the references you see here, it's going to take some of, some really lighter values to bring out the illumination, to bring out the story that we're trying to create with the piece in charcoal. So I'm going to have to go in really, really light and try to really, really light with the darker values first and try to get the mid-tone, just less than mid-tone value to be like the mid-tone value of the piece per se. I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I really won't know until I get into it, but I might have to use some of the white charcoals in this. I have yet to really use the white charcoals on this construction paper. Yeah, I haven't used the white charcoals yet on this construction paper. So anyway, it's going to be fun. It's going to be two pieces. This references one half of the piece, and the other half is on the other side. And so the reference have the posing of the two sisters here, kind of with their backs to each other. And so I want to change that particular composition. I want to reverse it. I want to paint them or draw them here with their fronts facing each other, the faces facing each other. These are two beautiful and wonderful sisters. They incredible, highly spiritual young ladies. What a blessing they are. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing here. So I'm gonna stop this here, introductory here. Gear up and get ready to go, and then let's just get busy creating art over 70 with Sign Rufus. See you in a little bit. Okay, let me take a minute here and just talk about where we are. First of all, I laid out a little grid here so I can see which spaces I wanted to work in because we're doing two pieces here, two port faces here. So I wanted to make sure I had pretty close to proportionally correct. And so that's what I did. I laid that in. And then you see me just loosely drawing in the um, the form, what I see. I'm trying to get the subject laid down, trying to just play with the proportions, trying to get everything in place as to where I want it before I start to solidify it into the paper. And what I use is I use these willow charcoals, and with the willow charcoals, it's so cool that this is, I don't know if you can see them here. With the willow charcoals, though, it's almost like, how can I, like an undo on a computer, I would say, for to try to give a pretty close analogy from my perspective. For me, because what it does is allows me to really draw loosely and freely and really push stuff to where I'm trying to get it before I start to lay down solid the solid drawing into the paper. And so what's the beauty of it is it erases almost totally completely. So all the stuff that you see here on the paper here, all this in the final piece, it won't even be anywhere to be seen. So then the next phase, what you'll see, is I'll start to go over this to tighten it up with the actual charcoal. And so once I start to use the actual charcoal, then when I get a good representation in, then I just come back and brush off the willow charcoal. And that's the process. Really kind of cool. I learned that from Aaron Blaze. He did a charcoal piece. Aaron Blaze over at creatureartteacher.com. Very good. I learned quite a bit. He's an animator, but I tell you, I got a lot of information from him to help me develop my skill set as an artist. And so it's incredible. Okay, so anyway, that's enough said. Let me continue on with the drawing. Creating Art over 70, signed Rufus. Okay, take a little break here, but real quick, all I'm doing is just tightening up the subject. I like to work from the eyes out and get the eyes and the nose and the mouth, all those proportions correct, and then I move out from there. Seems to work better for me. So there's still a lot of work to go on here, and all I did was I used some regular charcoal to start really putting the some of the final charcoal into the paper, and then as you saw with just a brush, the willow charcoal just like brushed off like it wasn't even there, and so it's really nice. And so I was able to lay down some of the regular charcoal so I can really start to see the form that I'm trying to capture here in the subject. And so that's what the willow charcoal really gives you the luxury of being able to just go ahead and sketch it out and push it, push it, push it, loosely as you can, because then it feels a little more organic to me when I push it loosely. That's why all of my pieces you'll see that work. It's all loose, 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 and so I want to give it that organic, not that mechanical feel to my art. So that's what I'm doing. So anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break here, and then we'll be back shortly. We'll take care of a couple other little things, and we'll be back shortly. Creating Art of the 70s, signed Rufus. See you soon. I'm gonna stop here, take a break. I been working on a lot of the details, trying to bring out the form in the face as much as I can. I was like trying to get the appropriate proportions and angles of the eyes. I got this one kind of coming in now, but this one I still need. There's a lot of work. I still have to adjust it because it's still a little off. When it doesn't look right, it's normally not right. And so then I was starting to work on some of the proportions here in the body, trying to bring them in because when I was laying in the end, sketching it in, I was very, very loose. And so I wasn't worried about proportions and form. I was just worried about content, what I saw. The silhouette is pretty much what I was trying to get in. And so now that I've got a lot of the detail into the face, I can work. When I come back, I'm gonna work more into the eye. What I did is when I get to a point to where it's fighting me, I move into another area of the piece and start working on that, and just to relax and kind of get back in the flow. And then I always come back to where what was fighting me. And the thing about it is that the pieces, they talk to you. It's like when you first start getting into it, it's like I have a general idea of start to finish, a general idea of start to finish. However, in the middle, all the details in there is kind of dictated to me by the piece, and I'm really trying to push in a lot of the detail. And I'm trying to stay as light as I can so you can still see the different value changes and it not get too dark. Especially with this construction paper that I'm using here is a darker tone. It's not even a mid-tone value. So in order to get the lighter values out, I got to be very, very careful with how much darkness I lay in here in these early stages of finding the form and bringing it out in the piece. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm just the face is starting to come together. I'm starting to find the form. The cheeks is starting to pop out. I'm gonna work into the lips. How I like to do it is I like to work around. Once I get in, I work around like the nose area. I work on these forms around it to get the nose to pop in, and I do the same thing with the lips to get it in. Because sometimes when you start drawing lips, you kind of get the egg shape. The same with eyes. I kind of build around it to get the eyes to create their own form based on the shapes around them. And so that's what you see me doing here when I'm working around it with erasing and penciling and erasing and penciling and brushing. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to bring out the form with the shapes, not necessarily draw or paint the actual. Draw or paint the actual part that I'm working on. So that's what's going on here. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, take a break, get something to eat. I might do a little more this evening, maybe not. I'll see how I feel after a while. I don't want to push it too hard. Because right now I'm just working on a couple of charcoal pieces, and I'm really trying to formulate in my mind the composition for the next pastel piece. It's exciting. I'm excited about doing it. It's kind of a request. It's kind of a request slash something I really wanted to do anyway. And so once I got the request from my cousin, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that. Then we were talking about it. I said, well, do you mind if it's this? He goes, yeah, that's even better. So anyway, so the next pastel piece, I'll talk about it when I get to it. I might do a charcoal composition of it first to get a feel for it. If I do, I'm just probably going to just knock that out and just share it with you, and so you can see it come together in the pastel piece as opposed to watching the charcoal piece and then watching the pastel piece. Be like, yeah. So anyway, that's the plan. So in the meantime, I'm gonna work on these two pieces, this piece here and then this piece here, and then I'll try to get into that pastel piece. So anyway, I'm gonna take a break here. Thank you so much for watching Creating Art Over 70 with Rufus.